I'm Sarah, Ausha's US podcast ambassador and host of Ausha's Podcast Tips. And today's video is all about how to promote your podcast on social media. A recent study from Consumer Science Analytics and Harvard Paris found that 35% of podcast listeners discovered a new podcast through social media. 35%, that's a lot! Social media platforms are a super powerful tool for finding your audience. But you can't just go about it any which way. The first step is to identify your target audience. I can hear the music in my head. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. Now, don't just dive headfirst into your favorite social media platform. You need to do extensive research to find out what we call your listener persona. Here are some questions to ask yourself to try to figure this out. Who's your podcast addressing?
What are their motivations and obstacles? What does your listener's typical day look like? Team Iron Man or Team Captain America?
When answering these questions, you'll find the main commonalities between your listeners. It's a key step and will make you more effective in promoting your podcast. To help you find them, we've created a template of questions to help you guide you to find your persona. And you can find them in the link in the description below. Once you're ready, you can move to the next step, which is creating content adapted for the different social media platforms. Depending on the platforms you've chosen, you'll need to create different content for each of them. So today, I'm going to focus on the 4 most common social media platforms used by podcasters. Let's start with their favorite, Instagram. Looking again at the study from CSA and Harvard Paris, 82% of podcast listeners use Instagram at least once a week. That's a lot. Instagram is really the ideal platform for reaching your audience. So it's not surprising that most podcasters have an entire dedicated Instagram account just for their podcast. Okay, for the content you create on Instagram, just remember that Instagram is above all a visual social media platform. So check the quality of your photos, the colors that you use, the typography. It has to have a real wow factor. You should also use Instagram's own functions to help you stand out. That means creating reels, doing a live, using Instagram stories, doing a poll, ask me anything, that type of stuff. The second social media platform I want to talk to you about, it has a huge podcasting community. It's obviously Twitter. There is a large community of podcasters on Twitter. So by getting your foot into the podcastosphere of Twitter, you can get into contact with a lot of people who are on the same adventure as you. The content created for Twitter is going to be very different than the content you create for Instagram. Keep in mind that it is really the platform for instantaneous and breaking news. This is what we call real-time marketing. You must be reactive and respond to tweets that could deal with the subject of your show, or the general theme of your podcast, or just podcasting. Now let's talk about the third social media platform. The Facebook, honey. Facebook is definitely the social media platform we think of the least when launching a podcast. But trust me, it's still useful, especially for podcasters who are looking for advice and don't know where to turn to ask questions. In the past few years, there have been a number of private Facebook groups created where more experienced podcasters can help little baby podcasters, find their way, and then they take them under their wing and then help them fly. It's always a good idea to rely on the advice of seasoned podcasters, because who doesn't love seasoning? And I'm not talking about the spice of life. On Facebook, you can publish photos, quotes, videos, but remember that your community will be mostly on other social media platforms. So you'll probably use Facebook as more of a support network. Finally, let's talk about our last social media platform, LinkedIn. What I am about to reveal to you may come as a shock, but LinkedIn is a professional networking website. Depending on the type of audience you are trying to target, LinkedIn can be a super useful platform to use. A super obvious example, but if you have a business podcast, LinkedIn is going to be your best friend. Listen, a lot of podcasters are using their podcast to promote a product or service they're selling. If this is your case, go for it. For your LinkedIn content, nothing too extravagant, keep it professional. Know that their algorithm prioritizes longer posts that will keep their users on the platform longer. Unlike other social networks like Instagram or Twitter, where your message needs to be short and sweet, on LinkedIn, you need to take the time to make longer, higher added value content. Whew, okay, that was a lot of talk about social media platforms. So maybe you need a little snack to keep you going. I love snacks. Ah, look, here it is. Okay, oh, that's good, that's good, that's good. Ah! Got it! Let's talk about a content creation strategy that is going to simplify your life: snackable content. Now that you know the different peculiarities for all the different platforms, you're probably asking yourself, but how? How do I create my content? The secret is to do snackable content. Snackable content is when you break off a small piece of your main content into smaller, more bite-sized versions so your audience can enjoy them in between episodes. For example, it could be a quote from your last guest, or a photo of them, or even an image that represents the theme of your last episode. You can also show behind-the-scenes footage of the recording of your podcast. If your audience is listening to your show, it's probably because they like you too. You might be the tasty snack they're looking for. I know we're talking about podcasts, but there is power in video. I mean, I am making a video right now about podcast. Meta. Deep. So for your podcast, use video clips extracted from the episodes. And remember to add subtitles because many people consume video without the sound on. Creating content on top of creating a podcast can take a lot of time and energy, excuse me. Don't worry. So my last piece of advice to you is to automate your communication as much as possible. With the right tool, I promise you'll save a lot of time, and I have a great tool for you. Ausha, for example, allows you to create video clips, to write messages, and make posts for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. You can then follow the live impact of your post on your number of listens. We created a social networks tab on the platform where you can manage it all easily. If you want to know more, go to the description. We have a link there. And there you have it. I hope that this video helped you better understand how to promote your podcast on social media. Do not hesitate to share it and like it, or like it, then share it. If you want to learn more about Ausha and the tools I mentioned in today's episode, you can go to the link in the description. Okay, see you later. Bye.